Hey, what's going on, Foundation fam and Noonan? Y'all doing all right? Happy Tuesday evening. It's Taco Tuesday, ain't
Taco
it?
Tuesday.
Come
Yep.
on. I tell you what, my favorite tacos at the Mad Mexican are the Texarkana with the brisket. It's got the ancho sauce on it. Good gracious. I do have an issue, though.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say it in front of everybody. See, the thing is that it's only 2 tacos. That's a problem. You know, I mean, 3 tacos is pretty good. 4 tacos is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I could eat more than 4.
Yeah. So hey, if I'm just giving you a heads up, next time you go to the Mad Mexican, get you some Texarkana brisket tacos. That's my recommendation. We're gonna get to your favorite here in a little bit.
All right.
But hey, if you're just joining in and you're like, man, who's this sexy looking devil beside me? This is Chad Smith, the owner of the Mad Mexican here on the square in Noonan. And he's a good friend of ours. And so, man, with everything going on, I was like, you know what? We need to just bring some conversation to the folks from somebody that's been in Noonan forever, and that's you, right? I mean, you grew up in Noonan, right? Went to elementary school. Where'd you go to elementary school?
We moved from Atlanta to Heard County when I was in kindergarten. So we moved from Heard County to Noonan the same year. So I went to Northside Elementary.
All right.
Then I went to Elm Street.
All right.
And from there I went to Ruth Hill.
Yeah.
And y'all do stuff with Ruth Hill.
That's it. We do stuff. So they kick you out of the first North Side, and you would kick you out of Elm Street. Is that what happened? You were just too much to handle.
Then we went to Ruth Hill, and then I would have gone at that time to not OPF. I would have gone to Central, which is now the CEC.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was in a rough part of town, and so my parents put me at Heritage,
Okay.
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and I left Heritage the 9th grade to play football at Noonan, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay.
So
here's the real test. Do you remember the mascots of all the schools?
oh Lord, no.
Not
I
even one
couldn't
of them.
even. Well, Noonan Cougars and the
Well, that's the
Heritage
easy one.
Hawks.
Okay, that's the easy one.
I couldn't tell you. No, I don't
Yeah.
even remember Ruth Hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't.
How about it? That's all right. You can put in the comments what them mascots are if you happen to know what they are. Also in the comments on Facebook or YouTube, as we're kind of chatting with Chad, if you've got questions for Chad, you can put them in the comments, and then we will do our very best to make sure that we get those questions in to him as we're talking and chatting. So you talked about schools and kind of growing up and going to school in Noonan. Do you have a favorite teacher?
I would say Sally Bowen was my favorite teacher at Heritage,
Sally Bowen.
and
Okay.
I had her for Latin.
Oh, Latin. How about that?
I took Latin in the 7th grade.
Okay. I can sing Jingle Bells in Latin. I don't know if that's impressive
I
or
can
not,
sing
but-
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Come on. I mean, you're going on the road, baby.
And that's funny. That one song stuck in my head, and I can sing it.
Yeah,
which
me
is
too.
hilarious.
Yeah. Like right now, it's going in my head. I'm so tempted to just jingle bell this bad boy right now, but we're gonna let it go. It's fine. So, why was she your favorite teacher, Miss Bowen?
I think that she was just so much into teaching, and she got you so involved. I mean, in the 7th grade, I think every word in the dictionary's a derivative of a Latin word.
Yeah.
But she was just so good. I
Yeah.
mean, she got you involved. I don't even know if I passed the class, but
Yeah.
I really liked her.
Yeah, that's cool.
Latin was hard.
Yeah. So after your freshman year of high school, you went to Noonan. Is that right?
I went to Noonan in the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
11th, 12th. So football was you're like, man, I want to play football.
Yep, I would play football.
Were you any good at football?
There was people that were a lot better than me. My dad played football at the University of Georgia,
Yeah.
and so he wanted me to play football. And I
Yeah.
think that I had the size, and but there's people. I'll take this back. There's people that are gifted,
Yeah.
and there's people that have to work at it.
Yeah.
And I was one of the ones that had to work at it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the best one out there, but like I told Cole, I said, as long as you give it 100%,
Yeah.
you're as good as you can be.
And Cole's your son. He's a sophomore.
He's in the 10th grade at Noonan this year.
Yeah. How about it?
He sure is.
So, what's your favorite football memory at Noonan?
Oh, Lord. My favorite football memory.
Yeah.
Probably going down to LaGrange. I think that my 11th grade year, they were number 1 in the state. They were top 5 in the nation.
Okay.
And we went down there and played it. They only had one stadium, and at that time it was Callaway Stadium because everything in LaGrange is Callaway. But to be able to go, their locker rooms were under the stadium, like at a professional
Yeah.
stadium. And we went in as underdogs and ended up winning that game, which was crazy.
That's cool.
So it was a good memory for us.
That's cool. That's awesome. As I don't know, senior, junior, did you ever pull any big pranks, get in any kind of trouble?
I didn't, because my dad had the, like I told you, the background of being a policeman too, so I knew not to do nothing real stupid. But I know they wanted to paint some stuff on the front steps, and I wasn't. I had a little more common sense than that.
Did they paint it?
I think they did.
Okay.
My senior year, they painted something on the front steps, and it was one of the doctor's sons that was in charge of all of it, and they ended up getting suspended.
Okay, so they caught them.
They caught him.
Well, see, I was hoping for something juicy that nobody knew. It's a mystery, and you were going to unlock it right here on this moment.
I wish
You
I
got nothing.
could.
So they got caught. I hear you. I hear you. So after you graduated high school, you went on to Georgia Southern.
I went to
Is that right?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up going to junior college for a year and a half
Okay.
in North Alabama, and then
Yeah.
I transferred to Georgia Southern. Was at Georgia Southern for a good 5 years.
Yeah. And when did you decide or find out or kind of discover, hey, I've got a talent for food?
My parents opened up a restaurant in 1990, so I was a senior at Noonan.
Okay.
And then I really enjoyed it. I saw that it was something that my dad really, really liked.
Yeah.
And it was, and it wasn't just cooking. It was, I think it was being able to talk to people, and
Yeah.
you got to help people out. You listened to people's problems, and you just, it was just fun. And so when I went to Georgia Southern, I changed. I was going to be a physical therapist, and then chemistry gave me a little issue. So I ended up changing it to restaurant, hotel, and institutional administration, which
Yeah.
is a restaurant. So
Yeah.
I just shot towards that and came home every summer. I didn't go to summer school. I'd come home every summer and work at my parents' restaurant.
Yeah.
And they were only open for lunch, just lunch, and they did some breakfast stuff. And then I would do dinner 2 nights a week for about 4 years. So I built up a clientele.
Yeah.
When I graduated, the people from Noonan, where Garlic's at now,
Okay.
used to be a sporting goods store called All Sports.
Okay. Yeah.
My dad and we took that building, and my good friend David Van Drew, which his birthday's today.
Happy birthday. Happy
we,
birthday.
We renovated that space as a restaurant, so
That's
we were
cool.
the ones that turned Garlic, which is
Yeah.
now was called the Redneck Gourmet Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
So my 4 years of working I had Martin Smith was another guy that helped me out. Every summer we'd work. When I opened the restaurant up, we had a clientele,
Yeah.
which was kind of neat.
That's awesome.
And just from there on, I've had various different places, but the Mad Mexican is Angie and I's place, and
Yeah.
it's
So when did the Mad Mexican officially open?
6 years ago
Yeah.
on December the 18th.
December the 18th.
December the 18th.
Yeah.
We opened up. We had a limited menu, and I don't think that anything that we started out with, we've taken off the menu.
Yeah.
I mean, restaurants open up and they're like, oh, if this doesn't sell, we're going to take it off.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've taken anything off. We just wanted to serve. We opened up and people go, why a Mexican restaurant?
Yeah.
And you're not even Mexican. I just thought that you look at the two most popular foods people like,
Yeah.
barbecue
Yeah.
and Mexican. And then you look at every restaurant that closes, what goes in there?
Mexican
A
restaurant.
Mexican
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah. Chips and cheese.
And do you ever see a Mexican restaurant close?
No. Not,
So I was like, there's our shot right there.
Yeah. In fact, our staff here, we frequent Mexican restaurants. In fact, we've got this running list of what's the best of the best at each one of those. So we've thought about putting a website together.
Which
Hey,
would be cool.
if you want the best salsa, go here.
Yep.
If you want the best cheese, go here. If you want the best chimichanga, we've got a chimichanga guy. Adam, our student guy, is a chimichanga connoisseur, and so he can tell you all about it. So yeah, you're definitely right.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So when we decided to do the Mad Mexican, and you decided, hey, I'm going to take those two popular things and we're going to put them together. There's still something pretty different about it. I mean, have you always created your own food? I mean, because that takes a little bit of creativity. You know, it's
We
not
did.
like it's not like you have two completely separate genres of food. You've blended it together.
We did fusion. That's the new term.
Yeah, that's it.
It was Mexican barbecue fusion. We didn't want to be like some of the restaurants that are already out there that do fill your burritos with rice and beans. My whole idea when we opened up was we wanted to have you can get barbecue anywhere, but we wanted to have the best sauces, and ancho, obviously, one of them. And we wanted to have the best cheeses. And so that was my goal, because anybody can make pico, anybody can shred lettuce, anybody can smoke barbecue. And then you put those two together and it just makes it work. So I came up with the sauces that we've got. And then with the menu items, it was just having people over to my house and saying, here, try this and tell me if you like it.
Yeah.
But I've always thought that the name sells the product. Okay. And so when you have a catchy name like the Bubbarito, or when I came up with the Bubbarito, I was like, if you got a Bubbarito, you got to have an Uncle Rito. We got a Nacho Mama, and then we got a Nacho Business.
That's right.
So you have a play on words. So it's crazy that I come up with, if I have a word and say like Clint, I'm going to have a word for foundation.
Right.
I would put foundation in the thesaurus and see or not the thesaurus, but whatever it is that rhymes. Yeah. And I'd come up with something that rhymes with foundation, and then the Cabo Wabo. Yeah. Or the Ramrod. Yeah. And so, and it's catchy. Yeah. People come in, they're like, oh, I can't remember what I get. The Cuburrito.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Of the burritos. I like that sausage that's in there. So where did that name come from?
Well,
it's got two B's in it, right?
Yeah, it does have two B's.
At first, I thought it was the Cuba.
It's the Cuburito.
Is there no two B's in it?
I don't think so. I think it's the Cuburito, because anything that we have in a burrito, we will just put the Rito on the end of it. And so the Cuban was a sandwich that I grew up eating at my house because my dad loved them. So it typically comes on a French or Cuban bread with mustard, pickles, Swiss cheese, or a provolone cheese maybe, and pork. And so I wanted to there was two things I wanted to do at our restaurant that my dad, if he was alive, would eat. And he liked the Cuban sandwich, so I made the Cuburito. Okay. We have the sausage. Instead of the ham that they put on it, we put sausage. And it's Conecuh sausage, which is from Conecuh National Forest in Alabama. And then we have the pickles, and we had the pork. Yeah. But I ended up using the ancho sauce and rolling it in a burrito.
That's good.
And then the Reuben that we do. I don't know if you've had the Reuben, but we do the Reuben with the barbecue kraut, brisket, cheese on Texas toast with and people love it too. So those are the two of my dad's favorites. So I wanted to do something for him.
That's cool.
Which was neat.
That's cool. So as obviously being a small business owner, and then in the historic district, that's a completely different type thing. What does it mean to you to be a part of that small business community in the historic district in downtown Newnan?
A lot, because there's so many people. I mean, I've seen my family's restaurant for 30 years. Reminds me of the movie Cars, the movie that when I was growing up, the town was vibrant, and then everything moved to the interstate. Right. But in the last, I would say, 10 years, it's grown back. The small town that people don't want to go out and eat at the franchises, and they want to eat family-owned businesses. And so being downtown in an old building that Lee King had, that the Bobby Lee's families had forever, means a lot for us, because it's just unique.
Yeah. And I think it's cool because you walk in and you see the owners, That's one
thing that we like, is that Angie and I are there more than probably most owners you'll ever see in a restaurant. Yeah. I work every day, and we've got a new kid, Brian Lee, that's working for us, that goes to church with y'all. He's my Chad at nighttime. Yeah. And then Melanie Rose, who's been friends with the family, she's the Angie at nighttime. But there's times we come up there and help them, or times that we pop in, and I try not to eat up there when I'm not there, because I feel like I got to work.
Yeah. So with that kind of tight-knit community, obviously just the the symbolism that downtown business, locally owned family business represents in our community. With everything kind of going on in the world, a lot of small businesses are struggling.
They are.
At the moment. You know, what are the things that you've seen in and around the square that's just been tough over the last couple of weeks?
Businesses closing's tough. I mean, it's hard to believe that they just closed the doors up. I know that it's hard.
Yeah.
I think that when I made the model for our restaurant, I always thought that the fewer employees, the better, because we didn't have the model thinking that this was going to happen. But me and Angie work every day, and then we have 2 other people come in. So other places that have 14 or 20 people that work for them, and now you're doing takeouts because you can't come inside. It's hard for them to do that, and I guess the government's trying to help those people out.
Yeah.
But we were set up for not having dining, but we were set up that 2 people could run the restaurant, regardless if it's busy or if it's 5 people in there.
Yeah.
And that's made it work for us.
Yeah.
And we've adapted to the times right now. And I know my mom and my brother have adapted to it. The to-go business is different for us.
Right.
The takeout business is we do curbside. I know you're going to get into that. We do curbside, so you can call in. The nice thing is with our system that we have, you can call in, place an order, pay for it, and you just, when you pull up, you call and say, we're outside. We bring it to you in a bag and hand it to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to touch anything. Because there's a lot of people, elderly people, that don't need. I mean, our place is clean and safe, but we have online ordering, which was something that we did. Who would have thought that people would get on the computer and order their food online?
Yeah.
We don't have the DoorDash and that. We've had some problems with them, so we're more of a business that we like to see you.
Yeah.
We'll bring it to your door. We want to say, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
You can walk in our restaurant, and I don't care if I'm there or not. They're going to greet you and say hello, and they're going to thank you when you leave.
Yeah.
And I think that means a lot for a small business.
It does. It does. So you've added Wing Wednesday. That wasn't always a thing.
No, we looked at days that we were slow.
Yeah.
And Wednesdays was a day because of being downtown with all the churches.
Yeah.
People eat at the churches on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so we added Wing Wednesday just to pick up business, and it ended up being one of our busiest days of the week.
Yeah. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays are pretty slammed, I'd imagine.
Tuesday we do Taco Tuesday, which we're still doing. We stopped the Wing Wednesday until we have dine-in service only, just because it's hard for us.
Yeah.
We have to have a whole nother person in there to do wings.
Yeah.
Thursdays we do fish tacos for $2.
Yeah.
And then we're back into the Friday and Saturday. We're just busy. So we went from Tuesday was busy for us, and Thursday and Friday and Saturday, to where the whole week we've been blessed that people.
Yeah.
You can eat. I mean, I know y'all do. You can eat up there more than once a week, which that's our goal.
That's it. Yeah. So I think that was my next question was, obviously you have a lot of really great relationships. And I think it's because, and you alluded to it a little bit earlier with watching your dad, that you recognized that not only did you have a gift for food, but you really had a gift for people.
Yep.
And that gift translated into a love for just your community and the people that were here, and just to serve them in that way through food in a creative way. And so as things have kind of, changed dramatically and quickly over the last few weeks, would you say that the folks that you built relationships with have really stepped up?
They have more than we would have ever believed.
Yeah.
I mean, I said we're blessed. I was telling a friend of ours in the restaurant the other day that I said, we have good customers. And he said, Chad, those aren't customers. Those are friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's a good way to do business.
It is. It's a good way. My dad told me from when we first got in the restaurant business that people can go eat anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, good food any restaurant's open has good food.
Yeah.
But people come back to eat at my place or the, because when they walk in the door, they feel welcomed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't walk into McDonald's and feel welcomed.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk into our door, you feel like you're part of our family, and that's what's kept us going through hard times and through the good times.
Yeah.
And I think giving back, we've helped out with a lot of people. I know right now it's hard feeding the firemen we feed the firemen for free on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Stephen, the fire chief, put a halt to that until things get better.
Yeah.
But it was his decision, not mine.
Yeah.
And he says now it's time for the fire department to help Chad out.
Yeah, there
He
you go.
sent an email out,
Yeah.
which was warm. I told Angie that hit me pretty
Yeah.
hard.
But I hear that Thursday night the hospital's getting a pretty good sized Mad Mexican delivery.
Yeah, I had. We had a girl that worked for us that works in the car, and she's out there now. And I just thought that I was going to do it all myself, and I called two people, Brandon Owens, who
Yeah.
goes to church with
Yeah.
y'all, and Martin Smith, who's a good friend of ours, and I asked and said, "Hey, do y'all want to split it,
Yeah.
and we'll deliver it out there? And I think you're going to help me deliver it." And drop of the hat, they were like, "We're in."
Yeah.
And so we're going to feed the whole ER staff on Thursday.
How about that?
And deliver tacos and burritos, whatever they want. We're
Yeah.
delivering it out there Thursday.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, right now, Piedmont Noonan, people that are on the front line, folks that are in the back of ambulances that are just pulling up to people's houses, having no context of what they're walking into, but willingly go to work every single day and say, "Hey, I'm putting myself at risk and the people I walk back into my house with or my apartment with in the evening." That's a call to humanity that I think really resonates with what I see in Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it's an others first mentality. It's a community first mentality and a selflessness. Man, and I just love it. I think they all, are owed our greatest respect and just sincerest gratitude. If you're watching now and you are part of that crew, first responders, frontline folks, thank you a ton. Just a ton. I know we asked our church to respond with some snacks for hospital workers, and so we specifically kind of targeted the two where the corona patients are and the folks that are just like nonstop in it the whole time, and we just said, hey, we need to do snacks for 240 people, right? And so today we had Amazon deliver 62 boxes of snacks, and they're not done; they're still coming. But it was just he just pulled up, and it was just like, hand truck after hand truck of Amazon boxes coming into the office. They're set up over there now. And so we're going to put them in these enormous crates and take them up there, and hopefully it brings a little joy to folks' faces.
It does. It's like you said, I think I saw you talking this Sunday. It's comfort food for people.
Yeah.
Snacks are. And
Yeah.
I think tacos and burritos is comfort food.
I agree. I agree. So let me ask you this. We probably have some seniors watching from Noonan, from EC, from Northgate. Obviously, their senior years impacted. You are still involved at Noonan High
A
School.
lot. Yep.
And so talk to them for a second. Those kids that are like, man, I've kind of lost a chunk of my best semester, the last semester of high school, and still uncertain of kind of how it's all going to shake out here before the end of the school year. Talk to them a little bit and just give them
I'd
some
just
words.
say, I mean, I know that you're hanging out with your friends, just like my we've got 3 kids staying at our house. They've been there for a month, I guess. It's just that hang tight with your friends and enjoy the times. I mean, it's not the end of the road.
Yeah.
Enjoy the times and share the memories. And hopefully you just pray that all this is going to be over with, that you'll sit back. I told Brandon today, I said, I'm hoping, in a month we can all sit back and go, man, that was a crazy ride.
Yeah.
Those kids, I'm sure there's a lot of them that are trying to get into college and they're still iffy of what they're going to do. Just keep pushing hard and be supportive with whoever's there with you. But I being a senior at Noonan, it was crazy because when I left Heritage, I was a grade ahead. So really, when I was a senior, I already had enough hours to graduate, but I wanted to play football. So I was sort of in a similar situation. I was never at school, but I was there. And like I said, you hang on to those friends, because there'll be my best friend David, I just said earlier, it was his birthday today. We've been friends since the the fifth grade.
Yeah.
And we left Heritage to go to Noonan together.
Yeah.
And so it's neat being in a town that those people, Bart Henson and Thomas Ramey, the guys with the fire department, they come in and see me every week.
Yeah.
And just don't let that go, because never know when you need those guys.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
good.
neat. Yep.
So just to Noonan in general, as someone who's spent the overwhelming majority, of his life, given his life to serving in the community, to giving back, what do you have to say to people that are watching that are, maybe they lost their job, maybe they got furloughed, maybe they got hours cut, salary cut. What do you say to those guys?
Sure, that's hard. I mean, my dad always said things happen for a reason, but sometimes you think, why?
Yeah.
Just hang in there. It's going to get better. I mean, call somebody, talk to somebody,
Yeah.
come up. Come into the restaurant. We're family. Just do the best you can. That's a hard question.
That is hard.
What would you
Yeah.
say?
Man, goodness, I'd say let's start with praying. Even if you hadn't done that in a long time, I'd say start with praying. If you think that God doesn't want to hear from you because He hasn't heard from you in a long time, just know that lie was put there by somebody who's not God, and so you can get rid of that thought. Mm-hmm. And just say, hey, you know what, God, I hadn't talked to you in a long time, but I'm in a spot. And I think you just share your heart with them. And the second thing is, I think you still get up every day and you begin to prepare yourself for what He's going to have for you next.
Be productive, yeah.
And I think that's all you can do at the moment. I would call your friends and I would take the opportunity that's put in front of you. You never know what's going to lead.
Yep.
It might be, not your favorite thing at the moment, but it might lead to something that might be your dream job or your dream, accomplishment. You just never know. So I would say don't sit around and wait. Get up and engage with people, even if it's social media, even if it's just texting and calling. Just pray first and engage.
Music's for my outlet.
Yeah.
I listen to music. I
Yeah.
sent you a message.
Yeah, it was good.
I listen to a lot of music. So,
Yeah,
you'll be riding down the road and it's country music, especially. That's happened to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good old country music. Come on. All right, so I've told them my favorite thing. Of the tacos, it's the Texarkana. With the burritos, it's the Cuburrito. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
The Cuburrito is probably my favorite.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
How about that?
The Cuburrito is my favorite, and then we do the Soul, which is if you like collard greens. We supposedly make the best collard greens around.
Yeah.
So the Soul is a quesadilla with cheese and the collard greens, and then you pick your meat. So you can do I do brisket.
Yeah.
And the Slow Rider. If
That's my wife's favorite.
If I walk into the restaurant, if Philip was there that used to work for me, and now Brian's learning, and I don't order, that's what they make for me. Is a brisket Slow Rider, which is the black beans and corn salsa brisket quesadilla.
Yeah.
So that's a good go-to.
That sounds good.
And it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good. So
That's cool. Well, I think what we want to do is, if you're watching, whether you're watching live now or you're going to watch it here in just a little bit, today is 3/31, so March 31st. On the 2nd, this Thursday, April 2nd, we just want to say, hey, we want it to be Foundation Day at Mad Mexican. And so I'm just asking everybody, hey, pick lunch or dinner, or shoot, you can pick both. The menu's got like 5,000 things on it. You can get the Texarkana tacos for lunch, the Cuburrito for dinner. And so I just say, hey, would you grab some curbside to go on Thursday? Which is, it would be a pretty decent sized volume increase. And so we also want to make the offer as a church. If you've got to bring somebody else on that day, we'd love to pay for their pay that day. If you need to add extra people to handle the volume, we'd love to pick up whatever that cost is going to be for the business. But so Thursday, you get to try it, whether it's the Soul or the Slow Rider or the Cool Burrito or the Texarkana or, I mean, goodness, like I said, you can menus online.
It is online.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook. Or you can call the restaurant.
Yeah.
We can send it to you via text.
Okay.
However you need it, we can get it to you.
That's it. And if you call during the day, you know, it's Angie's probably going to answer the phone.
Yep.
And she's like, hey, Mad Mexican, can you hold, please? That's probably what's going to happen. So just be patient. Be patient. They weren't built, you know, to run this. They were built for you to sit across from the bar or out in the restaurant. And so you're going to get some food. It's going to be good. I promise you that, especially if you go with my two favorites, you cannot go wrong with it. Hey, man, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And I hope y'all out there in Facebook and YouTube world have gotten something from it. Man, would you share this? Because I think everybody just needs to hear Chad's heart. Man, we love Newnan. Love everything about it. We love the Mad
do,
Mexican. And we certainly love our community. So we're going to get through this together. And I think that's it. We're better together. Come on.
It is.
Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time. Bye.